A very good evening to all of you. Thank you for joining on time. And on the occasion of this auspicious evening, I would request our chief guest to please allow me to start today's event. With your kind consent, the chief guest, Mrs. Aishwarya Bhati, please allow me to, please consent me to request to start the program.
Please start, Humanity. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Again, a very good evening. In just a minute, I'll be starting. Thank you.
Has found its thought and the thought has found words. Poetry is when an emotion has found its thought and the thought has found words. A poem records emotions and moods that lie beyond normal language, that can only be patched together and hinted metaphorically. A poetry has been part of human culture and art for thousands of years. Throughout this time, this has evolved in different ways, and today, probably no language exists in which poetry has not been written. A very good evening to everyone assembled here. I, Kaushalya Rajpurohit, take the privilege to host the event. It is our pleasure to welcome you all to this wonderful program. Hope is the thing with feathers that perch in the soul and sing the tune without the words and never stop at all. Here at Shantiniketan, it is mark of an undying tradition to invoke the Almighty at the beginning of an important event. Like the great philosopher once said, the function of prayers is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of one who prays. I would request respected Chairman Sir and Principal Ma'am to lighten the lamp with the blessing of Goddess Saraswati, we will start today's program.
या कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्र वस्त्रावृता या वीणा वरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेत पद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिर्देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेष जाड्यापहा
Brush away old heartaches. Learn from your mistakes. Another year is finally over. A new dawn awaits. Before starting, I want to wish you all a very happy new year. May this year bring new happiness, new goals, new achievements, and a lot of new inspirations in your life. Wishing you a year fully loaded with happiness. May this year bring good health and well-being to you all. Today, we have gathered here to be part of this year's Professor Dr. L.S.Rathrore Memorial Trophy by the Shantiniketan. Today, that is 5th Jan, marks the birth of a great personality, Dr. L.S.Rathrore. And as last year was the launching event of the ceremony, TSN, with immense pleasure, is continuing this ritual with the poetry competition to pay tribute to the legend. It can nurture the uniqueness and individuality of learners while encouraging them to seek out and appreciate diverse perspectives, beliefs, and cultures of people across the world, and in doing so, develop international mindedness. Shri Keval Chandji Modi, our founder, our inspiration, President awardee Shri Keval Chandji Modi, a legendary figure in the history of freedom struggle, was humble businessman. He served prestigious Bal Nikendran as president for 20 years. For more than 40 years, he served Shri Mahesh Shikshan Sanstha as the vice president. And all this was not possible without the support of Srimati Shanti Devi Modi, who is the backbone of all that we are today. Now, I want to welcome Honorable Chairman of TSN, Shri Kailash Modi sir, who is not just a prominent industrialist but has a heart of gold, because his contribution to the society is not everyone's cup of tea. He also handles many educational institutions. What a legend! True inspiration for us. Our director, Dr. Shobha Modi ma'am, who is a wise lady and also manages the campus very smartly, and principal, Mrs. Yogeshwari Rathore ma'am, who is pillar of our strength, and also proud daughter of the legendary Rathore sir. On behalf of school management, I would like to take the opportunity to welcome our invited guests, parents, teachers, and students from all the participating schools. How phenomenal is this day? A great starting of the year. Before proceeding further, our school choir and dancing divas are here with the presentation as a small gesture of welcome. मैं तो बादलों से डोले जाऊंगी, मैं तो अपना ही सुर पाऊंगी, है जो इंटीग्रेसी सपने मेरे सारे छोड़ के मैं बोले आऊंगी, हमारा इस दुनिया की होई ना ये मैं अपनी दुनिया बनाऊंगी, कि जिंदगी Honor itself to honor the charming audience and all the reputed schools. I, Kaushalya Raj Rohit, feel immense pleasure to host the never-ending dawn of knowledge with DSN started last year. We have been totally blown away by the high standard of the entries we got this year. The entries were limited but yet jaw-dropping. Would also like to share with you that we had various prominent schools round the corner of the country who tried their luck to take home this beautiful trophy. But lucky are we that we have got data gurus on the board to help with difficult task of picking up the winners. It was really difficult time for our judges to jump on the conclusion and give us the top 3 most deserving winners because each piece of poetry was near to perfection. Let me take no time in and bring you in contact with our expert judging panel, who are so very eager to share their experience while working with us on this trophy. So please welcome our first guest, Dr. Vikas Balia, who is advocate in Rajasthan High Court. He is rank-holding chartered accountant with passion for living ideas. As a lawyer, he founded Legal Sphere, a full-service law and consulting firm, and appears as a counsel before courts as well. Now, I would request Dr. Vikas Balia to speak something about his experience while judging the marvelous entries we had this year.
Thank you, Shantiniketan. As Albert Einstein had said, that not everything that can be counted counts, and everything that counts cannot be counted. So, the entries that came in were to be given marks. I mean, it's not a happy situation where you have to put in numbers to poetry, but I think that was what was asked of us. But at our end, we experienced what can't be counted, just the thrill of reading, what young writers are writing in it. It was just really a wonderful experience. And, you could see the apps, just how you see abstract forms, which is mostly seen in paintings. They're the visual image in the abstract form. But poetry is more like the abstract depiction of your thought process or what your personality is. And I think reading all of that was really cool. And it also brought memories of late Professor Dr. L.S.Rathore. I remember more than 25 years ago playing tennis with him and interacting on what he was writing and what we were doing in. And for many years, we had that evening routine together. So thank you for bringing that together as well. Um, a lot of times, it's poetry is not really considered to be the mainstream emphasized subject for schools, but and it's mostly science, technology, or commerce which figures in. So let me just leave you with this thought by Robert Graves, and he just puts it very, nicely in 2 lines. There is no money in poetry. Unfortunately, most of us see it that way unless you look at the top author. So there's no money in poetry, but there's no poetry in money either. So please think of poetry as that. And with those thoughts, I leave with you. All the best to all the participants. We had a great time reading all the entries. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shantiniketan School, for having us in here. Thank you.
A very good evening to everyone. I'm Kaushalya Rajpreet, your host for today, and today I'll be starting with a beautiful poem for all of you. I'm a poem. I'm a shining star. I hear people say mean things to each other. I see the world as a magical place. I want others to see the world like I do. I'm a shining star. I pretend the world is a magical place. I feel we should take care of the world we live in. I touch animals and wonder why anyone would ever hurt them. I worry one day the world could become a big garbage dump. I cry when I hear that people are killing each other. I'm a poem, I'm a shining star. Welcome, everyone. Thank you, sir, for your kind words. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to judge and share your experience with all of us. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to welcome Mrs. Vasudha Madan, who is retired PGT from English Department, St. Patrick's Vidya Bhavan, Jodhpur. She has remained active throughout her career. May it be extracurricular activities, annual functions, participations in webinars and workshops, and many more. It's our pleasure, ma'am, to have you with us today. Welcome once again. She has remained active throughout her career. May it be extracurricular activities, annual functions, participations in webinars and workshops, and many more. It's our pleasure, ma'am, to have you with us today. Welcome once again. We could not have come so.
Hello, everyone, and I'm back again. Unfortunately, like Vasudha Manan ma'am is not with us live here on this platform due to some official commitments. But yes, she has already sent us her blessings and greetings in form of a small sweet message, which I got the opportunity to read out. And I would like you all to please switch on your camera so that this evening can be more brightened with your smiles and on all the faces. I'll just take a minute to read out the message. She writes, a very good evening to everyone. Apologies for not being there virtually, as I am at the place where the network is fluctuating. At the very onset, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the chairman, Sri Kailash G. Modi, and Principal Mrs. Yogeshwari Rathore for giving me this opportunity to be the part of this virtual poetry competition, which is titled as Professor Dr. L.S.Rathrore Memorial Trophy. For students on the theme I Dream a World, it was an exhilarating experience to pursue through the poems that of our budding poets. William Wordsworth says, poetry is a spontaneous overflow of emotions recollected in tranquility. But these poems were highly emotive and deliberate as well. It is overwhelming that the generation next has poured in their hearts in an intelligent manner. Some of the compositions were very thought provoking, and a very congratulations to all the participants and all the very best for your future compositions. Thank you, everyone, on behalf of Vasudha ma'am.
Thank you very much, Himani ma'am, for reading the message. And we thank Vasudha ma'am for such good blessings to us. And now we'll be continuing with a beautiful quote by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perch in the soul and sings the tune without the words never stop and never stops it. Right? So we are here celebrating the poetry competition, and I request everyone to please turn on their cameras, and we'll be continuing with our next guest. Thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, I want everyone to turn on their cameras. Let me call upon our speaker of the day, Dr. Abhimanyu Singh Arha, who is historian, academician, poet, journalist, and author. He is currently serving as assistant professor in the Department of History and Indian Culture at University of Rajasthan. I request Sir to help us know about the great educationist and legendary figure in the field of education. I would request Abhimanyu sir to please take over.
Thank you very
Over to
much.
you,
Am I
sir.
audible? Am I audible? Hello, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Honorable Chairman Saab, respected Mrs. Aishwarya Bhati ma'am, Mrs. Lakshmi Sundaram ma'am, Vasudha Madan ma'am, Dr. Vikas Balia, and the revered and the honorable principal, Mrs. Yogeshwari Rathore. First of all, thank you very much for having me here. It is a great honor for me to be invited in my hometown, Jodhpur. But more than that, the honor stands ground because I have been invited while we are commemorating and while we are paying our homage to one of the most legendary academicians that Marwar ever produced and one of the most legendary academicians that independent India has seen. Friends, I have been given a very daunting task, and that is to show light to the sun. Introducing and giving you a biographical sketch of Professor Lakshman Singh Rathore is a very exhaustive task. There can be entire PhDs written on the persona, on the political thought, on the poetry, and on the literature of Professor Rathore. So, to surmise his entire work, his entire personality, and his philosophy of work in a few minutes is indeed implausible. But still, nonetheless, I would make a quick attempt to do so. Professor Lakshman Singh Ji Rathore was born in Bikaner in 1933. He earned his MA, LLB, PhD, DLit, PGD, PA degrees from different universities like University of Rajasthan, Jaipur, the University Hague. He had been the professor and head of the Department of Political Science in University of Jodhpur from 1969 to 1993. He had also been the Dean of Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences and the Vice Chancellor of Jayanarayan Vyas University, Jodhpur. Dr. Rathore has been the recipient of Rajasthan University Merit Scholarship, the Kailash Rani Mushran Medal for General Worth, the Netherlands University's Foundation Fellowship, UGC Senior Fellowship, the very prestigious and difficult to obtain Senior Fulbright Fellowship at the University of Pennsylvania in USA. Dr. Rathore also received the Maharana Kumbha Award by Maharana Mewar Foundation and the Swami Parvanand Award by UGC for outstanding contribution in the field of political science. Professor Rathore had been the secretary cum treasurer of Indian Political Science Association from 1980 to 87 and the Indian Public Administration Association. He had served as the president of the Indian Political Science Association in 1989 and as the president of the Indian Public Administration Association in 1995. He had also been the president of Rajasthan Political Science Association, and that was 3 times in 1978, 1980, and 89. He was the elected member of the executive committee of the International Political Science Association. He had participated as a panel chairman at the World Congresses of International Political Science Association held at Moscow in 1979, Rio de Janeiro in 1962, in Paris in 1985, Washington 1988, and Berlin in 1994. Professor Rathore had presented papers at the roundtable conferences in political science held from time to time at Tokyo, Urbana, Berlin, Florence, Zagreb, Madras, Calcutta, Helsinki, and Seoul. So you can have an idea that what an international academician Professor Rathore had been. He had also been the visiting professor at the Institute of Government and Law at Prague, Czech Republic. Also at the Institute of Political Theory at Berlin. He had also been a visiting faculty at Edward Karday University in Yugoslavia and also at Vikram University in Ujjain. Professor Rathore has been the visiting fellow at Brookings Institute and the Wilson Center at Washington. He had been the resource person at India-Canada Workshop, which was held in Hyderabad in August 1981. Professor Rathore had represented India at the University of Singapore Summit in 1982. He had also been the guest speaker at University of Natal in Durban campus in South Africa. Professor Rathore had been a member, General Counsel, National Law School of India, Bangalore, and also the executive member of Indian Council of Social Science Research. He represented Indian Political Science Association at the World Council of International Political Science Association during the years 79, 82, 85, 88, and in 1994. He participated in the Commonwealth University's Vice Chancellor's Conference as a Vice Chancellor of Jodhpur University, and this conference was held at Cyprus in Greece in May 2001. Professor Rathore had also delivered the keynote address at a conference on sustainable development held at the Sioux College of Applied Sciences in association with the Ministry of Higher Education, the state of Oman. Professor Rathore had been the UGC Emeritus Fellow in Political Science. He had also been the editor of Indian Journal of Political Studies and the author of 14 books. The introduction can go on and on and on, and I don't want to take a lot of time, neither do I want to sound very bookish before all of you. Before I end up, I'll just summarize whatever I knew of that great man in a few informal notes. First and foremost, my utmost respect augurs for this great man because Professor Rathore was an exemplary social scientist and a true academician, a university professor who sets examples before the entire society. Secondly, we all know that studying is not an easy job, and once we get into a job, this is a trend which is very common these days. People who crack their IAS, people who crack their CATs or any other competitive examination, the moment they get into their jobs, even for that matter, unfortunately, professors and teachers, once they get into a job, they just stop studying, which is atrocious. I'll share a very personal memory of Professor Lakshman Singh Rathore. a few months before his sad demise, I visited him at his residence at Bhaghi Koti, and his unflinching commitment to studies uh, is can be gauged from the fact that when I entered his drawing room, he had a library come office attached to his drawing room, and every morning from 9 to 11 he would unfailingly sit in that library come office and read for 2 to 3 hours. This was his daily schedule, whether he was traveling, whether he was in some social function. So this is the greatest takeaway as a social science, a professor, as a literary luminary. Gentleman, you study at 2 3 hours every day. This was the book for his. I mean, this was he had for his. This was the love he had for the joy of learning. So I think we should all learn from this. And lastly, before I end, I would like to say that these days in international academia and in India, we talk about multidisciplinarity. But Professor Rathore worked towards multidisciplinarity 50 years ago. He was a political scientist, but he dabbled into anthropology. He wrote fantastic literature. He was into translation studies. He wrote wonderful translations of the work of Durgadas Rathore and Rani Padmi and many other lesser known Rajasthani poetry anthologies. So he was a practitioner of multidisciplinarity. So I think we pay our homage to the great maestro with folded hands, and we go back home today with some lessons from his great personality, from his great life, and from his ideas. Again, thank you very much, Shanti Niketan and the entire team for having me here. It is indeed an honor. We would definitely stand shoulder to shoulder with you whenever you do anything in memory of great Professor Lakshman Singh Ji Rathore. Thank you.
Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. I believe in being strong when everything seems to be going wrong. I believe that happy faces are the prettiest faces. I believe that tomorrow is another day, and I believe in miracles, right? So we have to be happy, and I want to see everyone's happy face, right? So please turn on your cameras so that we can proceed to our program. I can see some of you turning on the cameras. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I request everyone to turn on the cameras because happy faces are the prettiest one. Glad to know some very motivating and unknown facts about such a great personality. This really inspires us so much and makes him perfect role model for all. Next in the panel is Mrs. Lakshmi Sundaram. Mrs. Lakshmi Sundaram is qualified educator for over 13 years of experience in early childhood and primary education. She plays multiple and diverse leadership roles in professional journey. Mrs. Sundaram believes that learning, unlearning, relearning is an ongoing process and considers herself as a lead learner in her classroom. She is currently the homeroom teacher of EC2 at International School of London, Doha. I request Mrs. Lakshmi Sundaram to please address the students about her experience of judging the entries.
Good evening, everybody. I would like to take this opportunity to wish and congratulate the entire Shanti Niketan family, the chief guest, speaker, my fellow experts and all participants on the felicitation ceremony of Professor Dr. L.S.Rathore Memorial Trophy. I feel humbled and honored to be part of this event, albeit through this video message. First of all, I would like to pass on my congratulations to each and every participant of the poetry writing competition. I was, and I still am, in awe of not only your language skills and creativity, but by the thoughts that you have, the dreams that you have for our world, a better world. कौन कहता है कि आज के जनरेशन के बच्चों को कोई पैशन, रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज या गोल्स नहीं है? They should read your poems. I would like to thank the team of Shanti Niketan and every one of you participants for giving me an opportunity to go through your work. This event is proof that students can showcase their passion and potential if they are given an opportunity to voice their thoughts and opinion. I'm grateful that I am a part of this event. I wish each and every one of us all the very best, and may all our dreams that we have for ourselves and for this world, may they all come true. Thank you. Jai Hind.
I would like to share an interesting fact. Can anyone tell me which is the longest poem in the world? Expecting answers from the teachers, principals, chairman. Yes, can anyone tell me which is the longest poem in the world? Yes. You will be surprised to know that Mahabharata is the longest poem in the world. It is an Indian epic poem which has around 1.8 million words, and it is named Mahabharata. Right? So this is a very interesting fact about the poem. We'll be continuing with our ceremony. Thank you, ma'am, for each word that you said. It's completely inspiration for all. I'm profoundly delighted to take an opportunity to introduce the chief guest of this evening. She is none other than Senior Advocate Aishwarya Bhati. Aishwarya Bhati, who was twice elected as Honorary Secretary in the Bar Association in the Supreme Court, is a gold medalist during her LLB days. Not only this, she was also selected for Indo-Canada Young Exchange Program and represented India. Aishwarya Bhati has total professional standing of 22 years at the bar. She was appointed as Additional Solicitor General of India by Supreme Court on 30th June 2021 and was early designated as Senior Advocate by the Supreme Court of India in March 2019. She is also solo glider pilot, shooter and horse rider. She has also participated in many adventurous activities with NCC. Put your hands together as I welcome our chief guest, Aishwarya Bhati.
Thank you, and a very warm good evening to one and all. Chairman Modi Saab, one has heard so much about your work and your philanthropy and your professionalism. It is an honor to meet you, sir, though virtually, but an honor to meet you. My colleagues on the panel, my dear friend, Dr. Vikas Balia, Abhimanyu ji, Vasudha ma'am, Lakshmi ji, and my dearest younger sister, the principal of your school and the entire Shanti Niketan family, Yogeshwari Rathore. It's difficult to tell her name because we've always addressed throughout her life. I've addressed her as the Ruby of Dr. L.S.Rathore's family. That is how he used to introduce. Dr. L.S.Rathrore Saab was very proud of the ruby and diamond of his family, and that's how he used to introduce. So for me, it's a very personal thing to be here. It is a matter of great honor and privilege. Professor L.S.Rathrore was, Abhimanyu ji pointed out some, aspects of his personality, but certainly he was one person who made the entire Marwar proud, the entire Rajasthan proud, and we felt proud to be coming from the town that he was. And of course, we were part of his extended family, so the pride was even more to be associated with him. We were beneficiaries of his benevolence. We saw him from close quarters. So that was an incredible experience to cherish lifelong. But I see a lot of young students here, and I believe and I understand that you had such amazing judges who have judged your poetry competition, and the poems you have moved them with your poems, your expressions, your thought process, your writing skills. So it's incredible that at such young age you have been able to impress. Really, and I must say that, I mean, I know some of the judges personally, and I know that they are not easy to please, and you have been able to leave a mark which is very clear from the addresses that they have given. I just want to share a small story with you. This is the story of a small, nursery school in America, and the teacher brought a bunch of balloons to the classroom one day, and she gave one balloon to every child and told every child, you blow the balloon and you write your name on the balloon and leave it in a big hall, big basketball hall. So all the children put their balloons there, and the hall was obviously full of balloons because they were once they're blown up, they take a lot more space. And then the teacher said, now I'm going to give you 5 minutes. You all have to find your own balloon in which you have written your name. 10 minutes went by, but not a single child was able to find their own balloon because there were too many balloons and there were too many children. So the teacher said, okay, stop. Now you do one thing. The exercise changes. You still have to find balloons, but what you do is pick up one balloon. Whoever's balloon you have picked up, you give the balloon to that child, because all the children know each other. They are studying in the same school. They are friends, so they know each other. And within less than 5 minutes, all the balloons were in the hands of the children whose name was written on that balloon. And the teacher said that the balloons in this case are like happiness. If you are trying to find happiness for yourself, you won't be able to find it. But if you're trying to find happiness for others along with you, then everyone will be able to find the happiness. I think this is a very beautiful story, and it really sort of takes us back to the fundamentals that are necessary. And I think the pandemic time, more than anything, has shown us what are really the fundamentals, the core things, what really matters in our lives. And I urge each one of you to be compassionate human beings. You have extremely you're extremely talented young children with great literary skills. Please ensure that your literature has compassion. You become compassionate human beings so that the world continues to be, a place that we call home, and continues to be a better place. In fact, if we can make it a better place to live for our future generations, then the onus is really on all of us. And the onus is on the young children here. So my congratulations to one and all. Please find compassion and joy for the whole world, along with finding it for yourself. It's a great honor for me to be here, and I congratulate each one of you. May God bless you. Thank you.
You can't cross the sea merely by standing and staring at the water. Thank you so much, ma'am. It was great pleasure to listen to your wise words and learn so much from it. Your life inspires millions of young students out there. And now it is time to welcome our Honorable Chairman, sir, to address the gathering and give his valuable inputs. March is celebrated as World Poetry Day. It is the day celebrated and initiated by UNESCO. So we all know now that 21st March is the World Poetry Chairman, sir.
Good evening, everyone, and I wish you a very happy and prosperous new year. Today, will be delighted as we, the Shantiniketan family, achieve one more milestone on the path shown by our great founder, father, freedom fighter, and President Award, Shri Keval Modi. He aimed to provide high quality education in a safe, respectful, and inclusive environment that build a foundation of lifelong learning. According to him, an investment in knowledge pays the best interest. The legendary Dr. L.S.Rathoore was a very close friend of him, and the man who provided academic guidance and proper path to the top. I'm just following the path shown by them. The Shantiniketan has been doing great and has a quite prestigious position amongst the schools in the country, be it high quality education, sports, and other extracurricular activities. Our students have shown extraordinary results in each and every field. We at the Shantiniketan work as one big family. The Shantiniketan believes in teamwork, and we are here to provide lifelong learning lessons that we will help our students to conquer the world. This is second year that we are organizing the event. I hope with God's grace, it will be long-lasting celebration for us. I would like to thank our respected chief guests, judges, speakers, and principals of all participating schools for your support and cooperation. Last but not least, Dr. Principal Ma'am.
Thank you so much. Your presence is always a moral boost for us. You are undoubtedly the greatest role model for all of us. Creativity is an inherent quality of each and every child, and that must be revitalized. And now, students, hold your breath as I welcome Honorable Principal Ma'am, Mrs. Yogeshwari Rathore, to address us and declare the results. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kaushalya. I think before I got onto the platform here, Kaushalya has already made it too alarming and loud. So, a very warm good evening to each one of you, to all the August gathering present. I, on behalf of the Shantiniketan family, extend my most sincere thanks to the Almighty God for making today's event a success. I express my gratitude to my elder sister, Mrs. Aishwarya Bhati, whose kind words of patronage and continuous blessings has enlightened the occasion. I'm sure the words of your motivation have enlightened the young minds by showing us the new paths. My gratitude to the jury members, Mrs. Vasudha Madan ma'am, who's physically not present here, but her message and continuous contact on WhatsApp has always guided me, Mrs. Lakshmi Sundaram, and Mr. Vikas Balyaji, whose continuous support and wholehearted participation helped us to select a winner among such high quality of submissions. I mean, how can I miss out thanking Dr. Abhimanyu Singh Ara for his precious time and being a torchbearer to highlight about the legendary scholar, Professor Dr. L.S.Rathore. I would also like to thank all the participating schools, principals, teachers, and their students who participated enthusiastically and whose contribution in the competition set a very high standard, which speaks volumes about the benchmarks set by the schools. I would also like to thank our chairman, Dr. Kailash Modi sir, our director, Dr. Shobha Modi ma'am, for the continuous support and their minute-to-minute guidance in helping us organize the ceremony. I would like to thank all the family members, students, and friends of Professor Dr. L.S.Rathore for gracing the occasion. Their presence and blessings in the ceremony added grace to the occasion. Thank you so much. Last but not the least, my dear core team members, Mr. Jaydeep, Ms. Himani Rajawat, Mrs. Aruni Ramdev, for successfully coordinating the event, Mrs. Bharti Solanki, Mrs. Akanksha Vyas, and Mrs. Priyanka Mathur for giving their feedbacks for improvement. Mr. Pankaj Lakhmera, Ms. Renat Lazarus, Mr. Bhanu Pratap, and Mr. Vijay for all the technical support and assistance. Ms. Kaushalya Rajpurohit for carrying out the event so well and so smoothly. And last but not the least, my team my TSN team, my dear teachers for their cordial support and cooperation to help us organize the event. Thank you everyone for your initiative, enthusiastic participation, and valuable suggestions. We value everyone's efforts in the Temple of Learning. Although everyone has set such good benchmarks in expressing themselves in the poetry competition, named Professor Dr. L.S.Rathrore Memorial Trophy, but someone has to be declared the winner as per the protocol. And I'm sure it would have been very difficult for the judges to decide too, because my team was consolidating the result. I think it was zero point 0.5 by 1 mark. There was a winner difference between the first, second, and third position. But then still, as per the rule, I take the opportunity to announce the winners. So hold on your breath, children. But let me say, children, everybody's entries were very good. First, second, and third declaration of the winners is just a formality. Thank you, everyone, for putting in such good memories of this day with me by expressing yourself so well in the platform. So at the third position, we have Edrija of class 9th from Delhi Public School, Pali Road, Jodhpur. Congratulations, Edrija, the teachers, and the principal. At the second position, we have Shobita Bharadwaj of class 11th from Emerald Heights International School, Indore. Congratulations, Shobita, the teachers, and the principal too. And at the first position, it is Yashvi Dadda of class 11th from St. Anne Senior Secondary School, Jodhpur. Congratulations to them. I take the opportunity once again to congratulate all the winners and applause to all the participants. I think each one of them deserve a big round of applause. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and gracing the occasion. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, ma'am. We feel very lucky to have you as a mentor. Thank you for all hard but necessary lessons that you have taught us. Thank you
If you
for
allow,
being
can
so
I
very
say something?
cooperative. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Sorry for
Heartiest
interrupting, but can I make a
congratulations to
comment?
all the winners.
Yes, sir. Kaushalya, just
Well
one.
deserved.
Abhimanyu sir has something to share here. Please, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Excuse me for speaking out of turn, but I just wanted to compliment your school. I saw the dance performance and also the choir performance. It seemed as if this is some school in Delhi or Calcutta. So this shows that Yogeshwari, you're doing a great job. Shantiniketan is a shining star on the horizon of Jodhpur. So congratulations. The quality was awesome. The dance performance was great.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's all the efforts of my dear teachers and my dear students who helped me out with this event together.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And now, heartiest congratulations to all the winners. Well deserved. Also, I want to congratulate all the participating students for being such a tough competition. Winning doesn't always mean being first. Winning means you are doing better you have ever done before. With the announcement of the result, here we come to conclude the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, your presence made this memorable day. Thank you for listening, for inspiring, for encouraging, for being here, and most importantly, for giving your time and making your presence. We wind up here, of course, but it doesn't really stop here. We will be meeting next year, same day, same platform. Some beautiful lines for my beautiful guests. It's not about what you have, but about how you use it. Nothing is good or bad unless you chose to make it so. Before you blame a tribe, think about what you can do to turn things around and make it work for you. With this, I take a leave. Keep smiling, keep learning, stay safe. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless
Thank you. Thank you
God
so
bless
much.
you. Thank you.
I request everyone, you can leave the meeting, and thank you for your support and your time. It's pleasure to have you on here.